In the words of Jay-Z and Alicia Keys, New York is indeed the concrete jungle where dreams are made of. It is the city where you can go to make a name for yourself and try to achieve your wildest dreams. At least this was probably what Anna Delvey's thinking was like when she moved to the Big Apple in 2013. Now, who is Anna Delvey, you might ask? Welcome back to our channel. On today's episode, we will be talking about one of New York City's most infamous grifters, who was able to scam a huge number of people under the guise of friendship. Anna Delvey. This is Fraud Explained. To enjoy more videos, subscribe to my channel and click the notification bell, or else I'll be looking into you too. Anna Delvey, also known as Anna Sorokin, was born Anna Vadimovna Sorokina in Domodiva, Moscow in 1991. She belonged to a working-class family. Her mother owned a small store while her father was a truck driver. The whole family relocated to Germany in 2007. In high school, she was described as a timid girl who could not speak German well. She was not very remarkable, something that would change in just a matter of years. After high school, she first went to London to pursue an education at the Central St. Martin's Art School. She dropped out due to unknown causes. She then moved back to Berlin to work as an intern for a public relations firm. Soon after, she moved to Paris to pursue an internship at a French fashion magazine called Purple. She was earning very little money and had to rely on her parents' financial support to be able to make ends meet. They had to pay for her rent and send her money for her to be able to buy her essentials. It was around this time that she began going by the name and identity of Anna Delvey, where her life of deceit began. Sorokin decided that she wanted more out of life and traveled to New York City. She was able to find more friends around the city than she did during her stay in Paris, prompting her to make New York her permanent residence. She came to the city with big dreams and was determined to reach everything that she wanted. What she would do to reach those dreams, however, would shock thousands. During her first few months as a New York City resident, Anna Sorokin was able to establish her identity as Anna Delvey, posing as a wealthy German heiress. She would tell those that she would meet that she had a trust fund of roughly 60 million euros that was hidden away in various banks overseas. As such, Sorokin lived a very lavish lifestyle. She would eat at the finest restaurants, check in at the most expensive hotels, regularly visit luxury spas and salons, and take frequent first-class trips with her friends. She even attempted to open foundations and small businesses that she claimed would be financed by her trust fund. The story of how her family was able to build their fortune constantly changed. She would say her father struck gold and oil, was a diplomat, or had a very lucrative business. However, nobody really suspected her and nobody questioned her or her origins. They just assumed that Anna Sorokin was as good as her word. Unbeknownst to them, Sorokin did not really have that kind of money. Sorokin was able to keep up her lifestyle for quite some time, mainly due to the generosity and kindness of her new rich friends. She would travel and have fun with them, but when the time came to pay for their bills, she was able to come up with many creative excuses to get out of giving her share. She would claim that she had forgotten her wallet in her luggage, lost her wallet, or that she was having a difficult time getting her money from the overseas banks where they were supposedly deposited. Because of this, Sorokin's friends would end up footing the majority, if not all, of the bill. They did not mind this much because Sorokin would promise to pay them back in full. Sometimes she would even promise to pay them back double. When her friends would ask her to pay them back, she would simply apologize and chalk it up to her own forgetfulness. They wouldn't press any further and just assume that Anna would pay them back when she could. In the article, I was tricked out of 62,000 by my Russian friend who claimed to be a German heiress, written by Quentin Fottrell for MarketWatch, Anna Sorokin was described as socially inept, but also very charismatic. In the article, Fottrell interviewed Rachel DeLoach Williams, one of Sorokin's old friends and apparent victim. Williams recalled the first time that she ever met Sorokin, in a Manhattan club named Happy Ending. Little did she know that she would become part of one of the most shocking frauds of New York in recent history. Williams said that she wanted to be Sorokin's friend because she found her to be fun, spontaneous, and smart. However, a wedge was driven into their friendship when Williams had to shell out a hefty sum of money for a trip she had taken with Sorokin to Morocco. Williams said that she spent roughly $4,000 for their flights, $52,000 for their accommodations, tours, and activities, and she even paid $1,300 to cover Anna's shopping expenses when her card was declined upon checkout. All in all, Williams had spent a whopping $62,000 on their Morocco trip. Anna had promised to pay her back $70,000 to cover all of their expenses, but never followed through. According to Williams, she was never able to see the red flags indicating that Anna was an imposter. She knew that Sorokin was troubled, but she did not know up to what extent this was. She said that the only bad qualities she was able to observe about Anna were that she was highly insensitive and very rude, but never once did she think that Anna was not who she claimed to be. Fortunately, Rachel DeLoach Williams was able to get back the exorbitant amount of money that Anna had scammed her out of. Keep watching until the end to find out how Anna's life of crime finally caught up with her, how she was exposed, and for how long she was sentenced for. In another article titled How Anna Delvey Tricked New York by Jessica Presler for The Cut, Nefertari Davis, a concierge at the 11 Howard Hotel, she remembers that Sorokin had approached her asking for recommendations on where to eat and had casually mentioned that she would be staying at the Howard for a month. This surprised Davis, as she had only heard of famous personalities doing that. The hotel room that Sorokin had booked cost roughly $400 a night. Delvey would often slip her $100 bills when she would drop by the concierge to ask about New York. She recalled how Sorokin would spend money, tipping workers $100 for their services, shopping at fancy boutiques, and splurging on different beauty regimens that cost thousands of dollars. Davis remembers how prominent Anna Sorokin was in New York City society and how she pretty much knew everyone there was to know. Much like Rachel DeLoach Williams, she never suspected Anna as anything else than what she said she was. She only began to get suspicious when the hotel she was working at called her attention because they did not seem to have a credit card on file to charge Anna Sorokin's room to. Miraculously, Sorokin was able to work her way out of it. However, her luck began to run out when she checked into several other hotels around New York. Managers of these hotels began to get suspicious of Sorokin when she would not be able to give them a working credit card to apply her charges to, or when they would not receive the money transfers that she had promised them. As a result, the hotel she would check into would kick her out and confiscate her belongings. After getting away with years of lying, Anna's lies finally caught up with her in 2017. She was arrested for larceny and scamming the New York elite. The friends that she had made during her stay in New York were in shock when the news broke out. They had never suspected that Anna would be capable of doing such a thing. Anna Sorokin went on trial on December 18, 2018, and rejected a plea deal that would prevent jail time and deport her back to her family in Germany. She decided to go on trial in front of a jury to plead her case. Eventually, she was found guilty for second-degree larceny and theft. On May 9, 2019, Anna Sorokin was given 4 to 12 years in prison and slapped with over $2,000 worth of fines. The judge also decreed that upon her release, she would face deportation back to Germany. The New York Times wrote a piece of her incarceration, where Anna shocked the world with her lack of empathy and remorse. In spite of being found guilty of defrauding people, many of whom considered her a trusted friend, she had this to say: "The thing is, I'm not sorry. I'd be lying to you and to everyone else, and to myself if I said I was sorry for anything. I regret the way I went about certain things." Sorokin also claimed that it was never really the money she was after, but rather the power. She never wanted to be a socialite, insisting that the papers stop labeling her as one. Anna Sorokin was initially imprisoned at the Bedford Hills Correctional Facility, but she was moved to the Albion Correctional Facility in Albion, New York, where she is still serving time until today. Her earliest possible release would be in October 2021. Series about her infamous scams are currently in the works with Netflix and HBO. You just watched the fake socialite Anna Delvey. Do you know of any other infamous schemers? Are there any other popular fraudsters you'd like to learn about? Comment down below and I will respond to all of you who comment within the first hour. If you like this video, you would certainly love the other videos on our channel. Head on over and check our videos and show us some love. We hope to see you on our next episodes. Stay tuned for more.